Good morning. My name is Vijay Tiwari and I'm with the Ross Ambassador Program. And the Ross Ambassador Program decided to help you guys in a new way. We're going to be creating multiple videos to help you guys better transition from wherever you're coming from the USA or Canada to Dominica. And we're just hoping to let you guys experience our way of life a little bit earlier so you wouldn't be as shocked when you come to the island. So the topic of this video will be my first experience coming to Dominica. So the flight over as well as the first night. Our journey begins at Pearson Airport. So I'm from Toronto, Canada. You guys can see a picture of me right now. This is me, just a few pictures before going off. And the first flight is pretty normal, as long as you've flown before, but it's just from your home base, you're going to be comfortable. Usually the airplane is pretty big, depending on, again, where you're flying from. But from Pearson, it was very nice for me. As soon as you're about to arrive on your first stop, which for me was St. Martin at the time, you're gonna get a card from the airplane staff. And this card will be for custom check-in. So what I do recommend, and what was recommended to me, was to always carry a pen with you when you're going on one of these flights. And so I had my pen with me, I filled out the card, and as soon as I got to the custom check-in, I was clear and able to go get my bag. One important fact about the flights to Dominica is that you can't just check your bag in and it'll arrive to Dominica. So most times you're going to have at least two flights. So one flight to an island like St. Martin, and then another flight from that island to Dominica. So once you get through customs, once I got through customs, I had to get my bags and check it again for my final flight to Dominica. And once I got past check-in, this was when I got worried a bit because my bags didn't look like they had arrived yet, and I was panicking a bit. I became calmer as soon as I saw there was Ross faculty members on site to help me transition to the next flight. So keep a lookout for people in blue shirts, people holding up Ross banners. They're there to help you guys, and they definitely helped me. So I got my bag, which came finally, and I took it to the check-in. I checked it in, I went through security, and then in my bag I had my laptop. So once I was through everything and I was waiting by my gate, I took out my laptop and I called my family. So what happened next was that on St. Martin, and I think as well as on Dominica, it was raining. So, which this is probably gonna happen to at least a few of you guys, the flight was delayed. And the problem with the St. Martin airport is that they didn't update the overhead displays that the flight was delayed or it was at the same gate still. So what I had to do was be proactive and ask around. And this is something that I recommend doing. Just ask around with other people flying, ask the airport staff, and as well as you might see other Ross students wearing the Ross t-shirts or just there to help you guys. So interact with the people around you so they can help you better transition. I asked around. Finally, my flight that was delayed for 2 hours or so was about to take off. We got onto this really small plane and it was still slightly raining. The flight over, I thought I would get motion sickness, so I took anti-nausea drug, and this is like a first generation drug, so it also had a sedative type of adverse effect, so I kind of slept through the flight. So again, since you're flying from one country to another country or from the island to another island, you have to fill out a card. So I definitely woke up in time just to get the card. I still had my pen, so I started filling it out. But if you don't want to fill it out, that's great, because once you arrive, there will be somebody from Ross to help you fill it out as well. So by the time that I got to the island, it was still raining a bit. It was nighttime, and we arrived on the island. It was I think around 7 p.m. And at Dominica, it gets dark around 6:30 p.m. So we were pretty. It was pretty dark when I arrived. I could see, like, as soon as I got off the plane, I could see a few cockroaches on the landing strip, which was I don't know, not too shocking. But back in Toronto, I hadn't seen cockroaches that big in a while. So then we were led to this small room, and the Dominican airport is really small compared to, let's say, something like Saint Martin, or definitely compared to like Pearson Airport. And we arrived there. There was somebody from Ross to help us like fill out our cards and get through the customs again. I had all my documents ready for like the visa, that I got my Ross acceptance, blah blah blah. I took that up. The staff were very friendly, and I got through. What happened next though was that while everybody else's bag arrived, well, except for a few other people, my bag, and I only had one baggage, didn't arrive. I just went past that, and I had to file a claim. So they showed me a catalog of all the different types of, I don't know, suitcases, and I chose it's this blue one that looks like this, and it's gonna be a tag of it that says this. And then they also had to take a key from me just so they could open the lock and check the bag once it did arrive. So from there, there was a bunch of taxis available, and that Ross provides, and we got into those with like at least 6 students. It's like kind of like a minibus, and the drive from the airport to the Ross housing department is about an hour long. So it's a pretty long drive considering what the rest of the day had entailed so far. And I was warned beforehand that the drive over was going to be really brutal if you're prone to motion sickness. So I got lucky. I sat in the front and I took another anti-nausea drug. So at this point I was pretty knocked out. We arrived, around after like an hour and 15 minutes because there might have been a bit of traffic. And as soon as we finally arrived, the Ross faculty greeted us. There was some welcoming committee, some students that were there to help us around. We got some good food, and there was satellite phones available, so I could call my parents again, let them know I had arrived. And then after that, I got my ID, I got signed up for some sessions, and then my landlord showed up and I went to housing. By that time of the day, I was a bit depressed because it was pretty dark, as well as my bag hadn't arrived at that point, and I was away from home. But the next day, once I saw the beautiful island, I saw the light, and I had rested a good few hours, I was a lot happier. So that was my experience.
If you guys enjoyed this video, let us know by either commenting on Facebook or on YouTube. Also, remember, if you have any questions, ask your Ross ambassador or post your question on your class Facebook page. Because we've been there and we've done that, so we can probably help.